The village of Al-Nur, nestled between dunes, was a tapestry of sand and faith. Its golden expanse stretched endlessly, a sea of shifting dunes that whispered secrets to the wind. The village itself was a humble cluster of homes, their walls weathered by time and sandstorms, yet standing resilient against the harshness of the desert. At its heart stood a mosque, its minaret reaching skyward, a silent sentinel watching over the lives below. Life there flowed gently, measured by the call to prayer from the village mosque. The sound of the adhan echoed across the dunes, a melody that united the villagers in faith and purpose. Each sunrise brought with it a sense of renewal, a reminder of the divine in the mundane. It was a place where Imam Omar, a beacon of wisdom, guided his flock with a gentle heart. His words, like the desert winds, carried wisdom and comfort, weaving a sense of unity among the villagers. He was not just a spiritual leader but a father figure, a man who understood the struggles of his people and shared in their joys and sorrows. The Imam, known for his compassion, kept a small herd of goats. These animals were more than just livestock, they were a lifeline, providing sustenance and a sense of stability in an otherwise unpredictable environment. The goats roamed freely, their bells tinkling softly, a soothing sound against the backdrop of the desert's silence. Their milk was a blessing for the village children. It nourished them, giving them strength to face the challenges of life in the desert. The sight of children laughing and playing, their faces smeared with milk, was a testament to the simple joys that sustained the community. But oh, one goat held a special place in his heart, a milk-white doe with eyes that mirrored the desert sky. Her gaze seemed to hold the mysteries of the sands, a quiet wisdom that endeared her to all who met her. She was not just an animal, she was a symbol of hope and resilience. He called her Jannat, which means paradise. To Imam Omar, she was a reminder of the beauty that could be found even in the harshest of places. Her gentle nature and the way she nuzzled against him brought a sense of peace that words could not describe. Jannat was heavy with child, and the villagers, accustomed to the rhythm of life, awaited the blessed event. Her pregnancy was a source of excitement and anticipation, a rare moment of celebration in their otherwise routine lives. The villagers often gathered around her, sharing stories and speculating about the new life she would bring into the world. It was a symbol of hope in their arid world. Then, it happened. The sun rose on a day that seemed like any other, its golden rays painting the village in hues of warmth and light. Yet there was an unspoken tension in the air, a feeling that something extraordinary was about to unfold. A day like any other transformed into something entirely different. The usual calm of the village gave way to a flurry of activity. Whispers spread like wildfire, each voice adding to the growing sense of wonder and unease. The villagers gathered, their faces a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Whispers filled the air, a whirlwind of fear and wonder weaving itself into the very fabric of Al-Nur. The desert winds carried these murmurs far and wide, as if the sands themselves were alive with anticipation. It was as though the entire village held its breath, waiting for the moment that would change everything. What began as a routine birthing under the watchful gaze of the morning sun became something no one could explain. The villagers watched in awe as Jannat brought new life into the world, a moment that seemed to transcend the ordinary. It was as if the desert itself paused to witness the miracle, a reminder that even in the harshest of landscapes, life finds a way to flourish. The air, thick with the scent of warm sand, carried whispers of an ancient rhythm, a timeless dance of life and survival. The desert, vast and unyielding, held secrets in its golden embrace, secrets that had shaped generations. The aroma of goat milk, fresh and steaming, mingled with the earthy scent of the terrain. It was a staple of life here, a symbol of sustenance and resilience cherished by the community. Jannat, the prized goat of the village, lay in her pen, her sides heaving with the effort of impending birth. She was more than just an animal. She was a beacon of hope, a promise of continuity. The Imam, revered and wise, knelt nearby. His weathered hands, marked by years of devotion, trembled as he murmured a quiet prayer. His words, though soft, carried the weight of generations, a plea for divine guidance and protection. To him, every life was sacred, a reflection of God's divine will. The birth of a new life was not just an event, it was a reaffirmation of faith, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all creation. The first kid arrived, its bleating a joyous announcement of life renewed. Its tiny form, fragile yet full of promise, brought smiles to the faces of those gathered. Then another followed, equally healthy and vibrant. The villagers, drawn by the miracle of birth, gathered around the makeshift pen. Their smiles reflected a shared joy, a collective celebration of life's enduring cycle. But as the moments passed, those smiles began to falter. A sense of unease crept into the air, subtle at first but growing with each passing second. Gasps of shock rippled through the crowd, their disbelief etched on every face. Something was amiss, something that defied understanding. Janat strained once more, her body racked with effort. The villagers watched in tense silence, their breaths held as the final push came. What emerged was not a kid, it was different. Its form, shrouded in mystery, seemed to defy the natural order, leaving the onlookers frozen in place. A hush fell over the crowd, the weight of the moment pressing down on them like the desert heat. No one dared to speak, their minds racing with questions they could not voice. The Imam, his eyes wide with bewilderment, stared at the anomaly at his feet. His faith, unshaken for decades, now faced a test he had never anticipated. The newborn, wet and whimpering, bore a grotesque resemblance to a human infant. Its limbs, though misshapen, echoed something painfully familiar. The villagers recoiled, their faces etched with terror. A wave of hushed murmurs swept through the gathering. Some saw it as a harbinger of doom, a grotesque mockery of creation itself. Others whispered of jinn, mischievous spirits known to play tricks on mortals. The Imam, his face a canvas of confusion and dawning horror, cautiously lifted the creature. It was cold, still. His heart ached with a sorrow he couldn't quite comprehend. Even in death, the creature evoked a sense of wrongness, as though it violated the natural order of things. News, like a desert wind, swept swiftly through Al-Nur, carrying with it whispers of something extraordinary, something that defied understanding. The mosque, usually a sanctuary of peace, buzzed with anxious whispers. The air was thick with tension, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath, listening to the murmurs of the faithful. The villagers, their faces lined with confusion and fear, turned to their Imam for guidance. They sought answers, clarity, and perhaps a glimmer of hope amidst the growing unease. Imam Omar, his usually steady voice trembling, could offer no answers. His wisdom, revered by all, seemed to falter under the weight of the unknown. He stood before them, a man of faith, yet visibly shaken. He too grappled with the implications of the birth, his faith shaken to its very core. What did this mean for their beliefs, their traditions, their understanding of the divine? The creature, he declared, would be buried with the respect due to any creation of God, regardless of its form. It was a decision that spoke of compassion, yet it left many questions unanswered. But his words did little to calm the growing unease. The villagers debated late into the night, their voices rising and falling like waves crashing against the shore of their collective anxiety. The villagers, accustomed to the predictability of their lives, now found themselves adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Their once simple existence now felt fragile, as if the very fabric of their reality had been torn. The birth had shattered their perception of reality, leaving behind an unsettling void. It was as though the world they knew had shifted and they were left to navigate the unknown one hesitant step at a time. Days bled into nights. The rhythmic chants from the mosque continued, yet, a palpable tension lingered in the air. The villagers, once united by their shared faith, now eyed each other with suspicion. Some, their faces hardened by fear, saw the birth as a curse, a punishment for their sins. Others, clinging to the Imam's words, struggled to reconcile the event with their belief in a benevolent God. The very foundation of their lives, their unwavering faith, had been shaken. The birth had exposed the fragility of their beliefs, the thin veil that separated the known from the unknown. Section 6. Seeking Answers in the Silence. Imam Omar, his heart heavy with the weight of his responsibilities, spent his days in solitude. He retreated to the mosque, seeking solace in the rhythmic recitation of the Quran. But the image of the stillborn creature, its human-like form a haunting reminder of the inexplicable, followed him like a shadow. He prayed for guidance, for a sign, for some explanation that would ease the turmoil within his soul and within the hearts of his flock. But the heavens remained silent, the desert wind whispering secrets he couldn't decipher. Section 7. The Weight of Wonder. Life in Al-Nur continued, yet it was irrevocably altered. The villagers went about their daily routines, their faces etched with a mixture of apprehension and fascination. The birth had become a part of their collective memory, a whispered legend passed down through generations. The event had forced them to confront their own mortality, the limitations of their understanding. The world, once perceived as predictable and ordered, had revealed itself to be a place of mystery, where the boundaries of reality could be blurred in an instant. Section 8. Echoes of a Miracle. Years passed. The memory of the strange birth faded, becoming a tale whispered around campfires, a cautionary reminder of the unknown. Imam Omar, his hair now silvered with age, never spoke of that day. Yet it is said that late at night, under the vast expanse of the desert sky, he would gaze at the stars, his eyes filled with a strange mixture of sorrow and wonder. The birth, though unexplained, had left an indelible mark on his soul. It had deepened his faith, not in dogma or scripture, but in the boundless mystery of creation. Section 9. The Unknowable Truth. The story of Al-Nur serves as a potent reminder of the enduring power of belief, the human capacity for wonder, and the humbling vastness of the unknown. It compels us to confront the limits of our understanding, to acknowledge that some questions may never have definitive answers. Perhaps in the end it is the mystery itself that holds the greatest truth. The inexplicable birth, like the vastness of the desert sky above, serves as a constant reminder that there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in our philosophy.